Hi, welcome to my NiGHTS tutorial. In this video, I'm going to show you very quickly how to make a straight line, because in a NiGHTS track, it doesn't always have to be circles, it can also be lines. So let's say we want to make a straight line from this circle to this circle. The idiodrone is right here. This is where the player transforms into NiGHTS. It's going to travel like this, go up to circle 2, wrap around circle 3, and we want the player to go a straight line to circle 4. This says circle number 3 there, and circle number 5 is actually circle number 5. I'll tell you why that is in a little bit. So say we want a straight line, but we have our circles. In a typical setup, we have our axis transfer points, right? And our axis transfer points are numbered to the circle we want to transfer to. So that's going to circle 3, and this circle here is also circle number 3. And now let's place a line. So a line is made up of 2 transfer line points, axis transfer line. So with a transfer line, the way the ordering works is the first point of the line segment gets its own number. So let's say this is circle 3. We want this transfer line to be number 4. So I was mistaken a little earlier. I called this circle here circle number 4. It's actually circle 5, right? It's actually circle 5. So we just placed this transfer point, which is a transfer line with order number 4. There is no axis circle with an axis number 4. It's just the line point itself, and this is the beginning of the line segment. So it gets its own number, it's number 4. To complete the line segment, we create another axis transfer line. This guy is going to be order number 5. Now you'll see that Zone Builder has drawn a straight line between the 2 line points. And this order number 5 corresponds to the circle that we're transferring to at the end of the line segment. And that's all there is to it. Now these line points, they can be any position you want. You'll see that the line just kind of follows wherever the 2 points are. But of course, with a track, all the points need to be touching the where the circles are. So there you go. That's it. That's how you do a straight line. So let's just save that. Go back to full screen. Let's test it out. So let's transform into NiGHTS. Start tracing. Get our rings. Going to circle 2 now. Wrap around circle 3. Now we are on our straight line, destroying the egg capsule. Now we touch circle number 5, remember the ordering. And now circle 6, and wrapping back to first. Oh. And that's it. And that is how you do a NiGHTS track with a straight line. So now that we know how to make a basic straight line, let's go over a few rules we need to follow in order to use them. Well, let's start with a permissive one. So with the line we just made, we're starting the line segment from a counterclockwise circle, and we're ending it with another circle going in the same direction, counterclockwise. Now, it is possible to end the line segment at an opposing circle. So how that works is just drag it up like this and make this a clockwise circle. Remember, we do that by adding the value 16384 to your radius. Gives us 16704. And so that's what that would look like. You got your line starting at a counterclockwise circle, and it terminates at a clockwise circle and go in the opposing direction. I'll just show you an example I already prepared to show that it does work. We got this short line going into a clockwise circle, and then we just kind of go over. So let's move this over and test it out. Transform into NiGHTS. Start tracing. We're on circle 1, going to 2, jump to 3. We're on our straight line now. and now we are on our opposing circle. So it works just like that. The second rule you need to be aware of is that every line segment has to start and end at an axis circle. So in this example, we have a couple of lines where that is not the case. Both of these lines terminate at a point where there is no axis circle. Let's just see what happens. So you'll see that, we're on the ending straight line here, right over here, and we'll just wrap around to the straight line. And what happens is that when we reach this point here, we don't switch to the next line that it meets. In fact, what happens is that it just misses the transfer. That's what happens when you don't terminate a line at an axis circle. Now let's do that the other way around. Let's go to the first line, and we see that same thing happens. It just doesn't connect because we don't have that axis circle to meet at. So to fix this, let's just place that first circle here. We'll just overlap that here. We're going to fix this up a little bit. So we'll put this line here and this line here. And now we fixed the situation by terminating these lines at an axis circle. Well, let's see how much better that works. So here we are, transforming again. We're on our axis circle, and we are on our line now. And the track will wrap normally. Just go around. Now we're on our ending line, and we were wrapping to our first circle. The last rule you need to be aware of is that line points cannot overlap. Now you should only really face this situation if you want your player to start and end in the middle, quote unquote, of a straight line, because remember that an Idiodrone must be placed on the first circle of the track. If it's not, then it'll just find the earliest circle it can find, and then just snap to that. So you cannot place an Idiodrone in the middle of a line. You have to place it on a circle, and then you need to have a starting line and an ending line meeting at that circle, like we just did. What the player is going to do is just start on the line immediately. And we also want the player to end the track on a straight line. So we have this ending line, and we're going to put that endpoint right over there. So you have two endpoints that are overlapping. Line points should not overlap. And let's go into the game and find out why. Let's transform into knights again. Go forward, and we'll find that yes, our straight line does work, which is very, very nice. Let's wrap around to the ending line, see if that works as well. And that does work. But you'll see that when we try to when we try to touch the overlapping line points, one of those transfers is not going to register. So what's going to happen is you're just not going to go onto the second line. So that demonstrates the rule that two line points should not overlap at the same location. So now that we've seen that two line points cannot overlap, how do we make this case work where we want the player to start and end at a straight line? Well, I'll show you a solution, and that solution is to go in as much as you can, zoom in as much as you can, and just nudge the transfer points so they are slightly to the side of the drone. So what I'm doing here is I'm decreasing my grid as far as it will go, and I'm going to try to nudge them not too far away, but I still want the line points to touch the circle track. So what's happening is that technically the player is starting on an axis circle, but it will look like the player is just going on a straight line forward and back. So let's run the game, see how that works. So we'll go straight and find that that works. Now we'll go back and find that that works. The circuit is complete and works just as it should. You will slightly notice that the camera nudges a little bit as the player goes on the axis circle. That's an unintended side effect, but there really is no way around that. So there you have it. Those are the basics of using straight lines on your axis tracks.